I'm here today with some of my friends. These are the real deal, okay? We are the original housewives of the real Orange County. We've all been neighbors for a really long time and we've been missing each other terribly. So today we're gonna do a little sharing. I'm gonna make everybody a light lunch. We're gonna share some mezes, which are Mediterranean light bites. And I have a lovely cocktail here that we're gonna start with. And would you like with champagne or with sparkling water?
Champagne.
Sparkling water.
Champagne.
This is a very simple cocktail to make. It's a Mexican cocktail. It's called aguas frescas. So what I'm doing is just simply, I pureed some watermelon and then I added some pineapple juice. So there's no added sugar. I'm just gonna do about halfway. And then I'll top it off with the champagne. And it's refreshing and it's a little warm out here, so hopefully the ladies will be able to stay cool while I'm finishing lunch. Would you like a straw?
Yes, please.
Thank you. You are? And you guys have the hang of this, so I'll make a non-alcoholic version for you, and then I'll let you help yourself to cocktails while I finish your lunch. So I'm just using the lime LaCroix. So again, no sugar. This is a perfectly compliant Whole30 drink as well, something very refreshing for summer. And Bridget, there you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ladies, help yourselves. I'm gonna go finish lunch and I'll be back out shortly.
Sounds great. Thank you. Perfect.
I'll get the door. Oh, maybe I'll get the door. So it's a little warm out there and I really love my friends for joining me today. First thing we're gonna do is a baba ganoush. And what I'm trying to do today is show you ways that we can still socially distance while we enjoy company with our friends. You know, between the pandemic and some of the situations that have been happening lately, there's just a lot of sadness, and I really love just being able to make food the common denominator. Food has always been one of those things that brings people together, and if we can do that all together, and even within these circumstances, I think that we should. So hopefully you like some of these ideas and they inspire you to give them a try. The first thing I'm gonna make is baba ganoush, and I'm gonna serve it in these pepper halves. So that way everyone can just take their own. And I am wearing gloves today because I am serving for other people. So I roasted this. Oh, I think somebody's coming in. Is that you, Grace?
It is.
Come on in.
Hi.
I'm making baba ganoush.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if we were mask worthy or what we were doing.
You can do whatever you're comfortable doing. The ladies are outside. They know how to make the drink that they're enjoying out there. It's an agua fresca from Mexico.
Very nice.
Well, thank you. So do you. We're enjoying our garden party. So I'm going to keep going with this recipe. If you want to go ahead and join the ladies, and I'll be out with lunch in a minute.
Lovely.
So you can see that this eggplant is completely collapsed. I just put it on the grill until it was soft, and then I left it in this dish, baking dish, until it, with some plastic wrap, and the steam really helps just break it down. So I'm just gonna peel the skin off now, and you can see it comes right off. This is the easiest way to prepare baba ganoush, I think, because as much as I love to cook, I want to be out there with my girls. So we're going to get this done quickly. And then I'll take out some of the seeds. I like to leave some of them. I like the texture, and I think they give it a nice flavor. And that just comes right open. And it's still hot from being on the grill, so this should be perfect. Use this spoon, and I'm going to just put everything into the food processor. I'm just going to squeeze this out a little bit to release some of the extra liquid. Put that right in. Right quickly because I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tahini and a little bit of yogurt. And I'm using the almond milk Greek style yogurt. You can use regular yogurt if you're not paleo, but you know, we're trying to keep things paleo and Whole30 compliant here. So use your preference. I like this. The tahini has a tendency to settle, so I'm just gonna stir it a little bit. And when I say tablespoon, I usually use a soup spoon. So I'm just gonna put a couple of scoops right in here.
Hey Mom,
Yeah,
what exactly is tahini?
tahini is a sesame paste.
Okay.
So it's basically ground up sesame seeds, just as if you would grind up any other nut butter, like a almond butter or a cashew butter or a peanut butter.
Cool.
It has very great nutrients in it as well. I'm gonna put a whole container. It's about a half a cup. And trust me, nobody knows if you're not using real yogurt, because we're gonna add a little olive oil to this, just to give it a little extra fat, about a tablespoon. And you know I love my Casandrinos olive oil, I can't stop talking about it. And we're gonna do a garlic clove. Just smash that and put it right in. And you know I love fresh garlic, and there's lots of fresh garlic in today's dishes. And the best part is everybody's eating the same thing, so we all cancel each other out. We're just gonna whip that up a little bit. Get it nice and smooth. And this will thicken a little bit as it cooks off too. As I said, the eggplant is pretty hot. And I'm just gonna season it with a little cumin. And I buy my spices in big containers and then I store them in these airtight jars. I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of cumin to add to the smoky flavor of the eggplant. And a little salt and pepper. Using a kosher salt, Maldon sea salt, whatever you have on hand. Try and use a healthier salt that doesn't have iodine. And now, I'm just gonna spoon these peppers and fill it right up. And I can do it right out of the bowl. That's my cutting board. You can see it has a nice consistency. It's just gonna go right into those peppers, and it's an easy to eat pick up snack. 1 bite, 2 bites, and no one is dipping into each other's bowls like you would with regular vegetables or anything else like that. And I love to serve baba ganoush with vegetables and especially peppers. And these little mini peppers are organic. So I just simply cut them in half and take out the very top part where the seeds are. And if there's a rib down the center, I'll remove that. And that is really all there is to this dish. You can chill these a little bit beforehand if you want. I think I'll stick them in the fridge while I'm working on the other dishes that I'm making for my friends. And could it be any simpler? I mean, you can do this. And it's Whole30 compliant. That's it. You can top it with a little parsley, maybe give it a squeeze of fresh lemon, however you like to finish it. So I'm gonna stick these in the fridge and I'll be right back. The next thing I want to show you is a beet salad. This is a Moroccan beet salad. And what I've done is I've roasted off the beets in the oven. Pretty much the same technique as what I did with the eggplant. I don't do the beets on the grill, but you certainly could. And I've cut them up. So I have two colors of beets here. I've got the dark red, which get nice and dark in the oven when you roast them. And then I also have a golden beet. And I want to show you how easy it is to peel these because it's just so simple. Again, just like the eggplant. Just gonna cut this root end off. I put the whole thing in the oven on some parchment paper. You can see how sugary they are. It left some caramelization on the paper. I'm just gonna put the whole thing in the oven. I roasted them at 350 for about an hour or until they feel soft. And again, when you just put them in some plastic wrap or in a paper bag, the steam will help release the skin, and you can see how wrinkly it got. Just gonna cut that off, and they literally just peel away. And you really save so much of the vegetable by doing it this way. You don't have to cut into the flesh at all. It just peels right off. And I love beets. I think they're full of nutrients, and I think when you roast them like this in the oven, you really concentrate the flavors and caramelize the sugars. So you have a very nice, flavorful beet without boiling it and losing all the nutrients in the water. Just gonna set that there so I can rinse off my cutting board. And all I do to dice these beets is slice them in half. I put that flat end on the bottom, slice it in half, and then I cut it into about quarter-sized bites. Because I'm serving these in little individual verrines, you can use whatever you can find at the party store, or if you have small salad dishes. So it's very simple to prepare, and it's a fun way to serve something when you're entertaining. So these are just going right into the bowl with the others. Also a good one to chill if you want to serve it cold, but it's also good room temperature. I used to do beets with pasta when I ate pasta, but I'm not doing that these days. So there's the beets, and now I'm going to make a delicious Moroccan dressing to go with it. And all that's in here is 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and I love Costco for this apple cider vinegar because literally 2 of these giant bottles are $4.99. And then I'm just going to put some fresh lemon, and I just need to grab my lemon squeezer. So just a half of a lemon, fresh, squeeze it in. I love my lemon squeezer because the rind and the seeds stay inside. And I'm going to use that again later. Caraway seeds are a delicious addition to anything that has a Mediterranean flavor. And I like to put a couple teaspoons. You know, 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon, so I'm not quite filling it up, and that's 2 teaspoons. little sneaky trick. And then a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, to give it a nice bright finish and that nice fatty texture. And I'm going to dice up some fresh parsley from my yard. So I think before I do that, actually, I toasted off some walnuts, and I think walnuts give this a delicious crunch. I just put them in the oven at 350 degrees until they got nice and fragrant. And then I just take a little handful These are walnut halves. And I just run the knife through them so they can be easy to eat. And I'm gonna mix those right in. Very simple. And now the finishing touch with some parsley. And especially when you're wearing gloves, you want to make sure you get your fingers back because you don't want pieces of latex glove or rubber gloves, whatever these are. Getting used to cooking with gloves again, just like the old days in the kitchen. And I'm just going to stir this together. Look at those colors. It's so bright and pretty and summery and healthy. I think I'll add a little salt and pepper. Again, use a really good salt. And that looks delicious. Now here's the fun thing that I'm doing with this. I bought these little tiny forks at the party center. They come in these little packages. Just like that. And I'm going to fill these plastic vereins, which are disposable. They're great for outdoor parties too, especially poolside. You can get these at the party center. You can probably get them on Amazon. If you can't find these, I think these fun little shot glasses work just as well. So use what you have. And I'm just gonna spoon these vereins with the beet salad and add a little fork. And that's how I'm gonna serve it. So I'll get these ready real quick. And as I said, beets are one of those things I've been cooking for a long time. I think that it's a fun way to serve a salad. It also serves as an appetizer when you do it this way. It's cool and refreshing on a hot day. I think it was 90 degrees this morning here in Orlando. So cool and refreshing is the name of the game today. And it's just like little bits of jewels. Those colors are so beautiful. I also have some Moroccan chicken that I prepped, and I'll show you how I prepped it. They're in the oven right now. Just finishing cooking a little bit from being on the grill. Put them on the grill to get some grill marks. And then we'll be adding that to our lunch. And I think that's 6. Is it 6?
Yep.
2, 4, 6. We'll do one more.
Yeah, what about me?
I'm counting on you. Don't worry, darling. I appreciate you being here. My daughter's recording for me today. Oh, and that's just enough. So this was 4 beets. Actually, it was 3 beets. One of the beets, when I roasted it, was a little stringy, and when I cut it, it didn't look very appetizing, and the texture wasn't good, so I didn't keep that one in here. It's one of those things that you just have to look for with vegetables. What are you gonna do? And I have a platter right here. I'll take these out on the platter for my friends, and I hope they love it. I also get very kind of OCD about the direction of the forks. These are great for desserts too, if you want to do a little dessert with some fresh fruit and some yogurt and a little drizzle of honey on top. These little containers you will find are indispensable. I'm going to rinse off my cutting board again, and I'm going to show you how I did this chicken. Can you see with this plastic here? Great, because although I know that the plastic wrap is not ideal, it's one of those things in my kitchen that I can't live without. So I try to minimize the waste by saving on using other plastic things. But the plastic wrap is just one of those things. I'm a product of the kitchen, and I like my plastic wrap. So all I'm doing with this chicken is I have some boneless, skinless thighs. and everything is all ready. I'm just going to show you how I put this together. This is boneless, skinless thigh, and I'm just going to lay it inside the plastic wrap on the cutting board, and I'm going to use the hammer, the flat side of the hammer, because I don't want to put holes in the plastic. I'm just going to give it a little bit of flattening. I don't want it to be paper thin because I want it to hold up on the grill. Cook pretty fast. That looks pretty good. And then I'll just cut that in half. And the marinade is very simple. I used garlic, cumin, tarragon, a little bit of my paleo powder, which is an all-purpose seasoning that I love, and some garlic. And I'm gonna do it in the mortar and pestle because it's not really a wet marinade. It's more like a rub. So I'm just gonna take the garlic out of here. 2 cloves. And I'm not touching where the chicken was on the cutting board, and it was on plastic as well. I'm gonna do a tiny bit of olive oil, like I said. Oops. Let's get that out of there. Just not even a teaspoon. You just want enough to give it a good schmear. About a teaspoon of the paleo powder. A little salt, some pepper, and then a teaspoon of each. Again, this is my turmeric. I use it for golden milk. I use it for lots of other things, and I buy it in the big giant size and keep it in jars. That's about a teaspoon. And then a teaspoon of the cumin, because the cumin again really helps give this a nice smoky flavor. I'm just going to use my mortar and pestle to squish this together. This is a great tool. If you don't have one, you can definitely use a food processor. Those garlic skins were stubborn today. But I kind of like to do it by hand once in a while. And you can see it comes together very quickly. It's okay if the garlic is still a little chunky. Those skins were just not happy today. And then I'm just going to put some more plastic down, but you can do it in a baking dish if you're prepping a lot. And then rub this right onto the chicken, just like that. And flip it over. So if you're doing a lot of these, like I did earlier, you can just put them in a baking dish and let it marinate for a little bit. I'm just going to keep it wrapped in this plastic for now because I wanted you to see how I did it. And then you're going to put it on skewers. I let this sit maybe an hour, 2 hours. You don't have to do overnight. The chicken thighs are already very tender, so you don't have to worry about overnight. And then I just thread them onto a skewer. I'm going to grab a skewer. But what I usually do is soak the skewers in water for about half an hour until, before I put them on the grill. That keeps them from burning. So we'll just say that this has had its time in the marinade, and all I do is thread it on back and forth. And spread it out. And you can see they're very thin. They're going to cook quickly. And I'm going to serve these in some foil packets with an avocado and yogurt sauce. And I'm going to show you how to make that right now. Wash my hands and put on a new set of gloves. And these girls are going to be hungry when they get all of this out there. So this is a really easy sauce. Again, I'm using the garlic and I'm using the non-dairy yogurt. I really prefer to not cook with gloves. I really love my friends. Okay. And this is very simple again. It's just going to be some yogurt, 2 avocados, and some of the same seasoning that we put in the chicken. So I'm just gonna, do you know how to cut an avocado? This is my favorite way to cut an avocado. I start where the stem end is, and I go right into the center. And I go all the way around until I meet where I started, and just twist. And then to get the pit out, just hit it with a knife and twist, and it pops right out. So I'm just gonna score this. Again, don't go through your hand, but all the way through the flesh to the skin. You can feel it with the point of the knife. And I'm just gonna scoop it out with a spoon or a fork. And look how easy that is. It's my best trick for avocados. I'm scoring these into cubes because I want it to mash up easily. If you're making guacamole or something else with your avocados and you just want to, go very quickly and not score it first because you're going to mash it up anyway, you can save that step. I love easy. So I'll do the second one. And this is going to have the same delicious Moroccan flavors as the rest of the dishes that we're doing today. Scoring. So I'm going to be adding some cumin and some lemon, along with the yogurt, some olive oil. I really like the way the olive oil gives the non-dairy yogurt a nice fatty feel, because you miss that when you don't have the dairy. And I'm only going to use about half of this container. You can do more if you decide that you like to have it a little looser. I don't want it to drip on everybody's pretty dresses, so I'm not going to do as much. Just going to do about that. And if I feel like we need to add some, then we'll add some. I'm going to use my wire whisk to just mash it up. It'll come together very quickly. The only thing I do recommend anytime you're doing avocado is you can't really do it the day ahead because it will turn brown. The lemon helps a little bit, but I think it's best to do same day, preferably close to when you're going to serve it. This is very thick, so I will add a little more yogurt. And then I'm going to add half a lemon, which I have right here, ready to go. And then we can see the consistency of the sauce and if we need to add anything else. A little bit of olive oil, just about a tablespoon, not much. And we'll keep mashing. And that is looking pretty perfect. A little bit of salt. And it's okay if it has a little texture. If you put it in a food processor, you would smooth it out a lot more. I don't think it's And the chicken, as I said, I grilled earlier. So I'll show you what that looks like now. Get some of these things out of the way. I pre-cut some foil packets. Just little pieces of foil in half. Get that chicken out of the oven. Hopefully I don't torch my glove. So the chicken went on the grill for about 2 minutes each side. And you can see it has that lovely color from the turmeric. Pan is still hot. And this is going to have a little bit of a street food feel.
Oh, it smells so good.
Doesn't it smell good? So all I'm going to do is, with this piece of foil that I just used the length of the roll and then cut in half, I'm just going to put a dollop of the avocado and a piece of the chicken and wrap it up. And now everyone has, again, individual servings. They're shareables without really sharing. And you can always serve some more sauce on the side if you want to take it, you know, and have the additional. But you can see it stays nice and thick. They can roll it around in the sauce a little bit before they take a bite. And the foil helps protect them from getting messy. I used to do catering a lot, and we would do black tie affairs. We had to be very careful with sauces and powdered sugars and things like that getting on people's tuxedos. So we were always really careful with the types of food we served depending on what the occasion was. And this is one that always fit the bill. And my girls are probably getting hungry out there. You know what I just realized? I did not get out dishes, so we're gonna have to grab some plates for outside. Here's a casualty. The skewer sort of broke in the grill from the heat. Again, I did soak these, so it does help them stay nice and wet so they don't burn. But once in a while, can't win them all. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And if you wouldn't mind going outside and letting them know we're almost ready, I am going to come out with the food.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Lunch is just about ready. How are the drinks?
The drinks are wonderful.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Right behind you.
Thanks for joining us.
Here are some plates, and I will bring out some silverware. This is a golden and red beet roasted salad with some walnuts and a nice Moroccan Tunisian style dressing. I hope you like beets. I'll get the chicken and the other goodies.
Yum. Thank you. You gonna sit up there?
No, I'm not going over there.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Slide that
This drink is delicious. The watermelon and pineapple combination. Really yummy.
Awesome. Perfect for a hot day like today.
It really is.
Oh, the pineapple. I can't cut things that small.
We're sharing, but we're being individual. This is baba ganoush and a little half pepper.
Oh, cute.
And here's some silverware.
Just use our fingers.
Sure, or you can help yourself to a fork if you like. And here comes the chicken.
You're good. What you get?
You got another presentation to another colors. The red, the orange, and the yellow.
This is Moroccan flavored chicken with an avocado yogurt sauce.
Oh,
I
Gina,
kept
what
those
fun.
individual too. These are a little bit of Moroccan street food style.
Very nice, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait to sit down and have a little lunch.
Yes.
Everybody good? Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. Make sure you check out my website because we're hosting a July Whole 30. Anyone that wants to sign up can go on my website for more information. Make sure you like me on livingdeliciousnutrish.com. Thanks for joining me. Mwah. Have a wonderful, warm day.